So here's my second favorite moment from the life and times of Dr. Martin Luther King. And if you haven't seen my first video, just go to my profile and click on it. So this story actually happens at the end of his life, literally the day before he gave a speech in a church. And what he said toward the end of that speech showcases the fact that I believe, and many other people believe, that he knew that his life would be coming to an end at some point in the near future. That he knew. And the amazing thing about it is that he was at peace with it. He was at peace. And believe you me, to know that you're facing death and to be at peace with it is an amazing place to get in life. It is an amazing place to get in life. And he got there. And he didn't try to run from it. He didn't try to avoid it. He knew that it was probably going to happen and that he was willing to face it forward. And the words that he says in this speech are powerful. I want you to listen to it. I'm going to play it right now. But the biggest thing about it is actually listening to it, even in these times. It's funny how you can hear something and then a couple years later it resonates with you differently or more deeply or profoundly, either because you've gotten older and you understand more about life and or because of the things happening around you in the world.
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
But the most incredible part of this speech when he says, I have been to the mountaintop. I have seen the promised land. It's like he's saying to us, even now in 2025, I have seen the promised land where all people are judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. I have seen a promised land where all people are loving and honorable and true to one another. That is in the future. That he's seen it, and that seeing that gave him peace, that he had done his part in that journey. And the interesting thing is, the way that he speaks, the words that he says are very reminiscent of two people in the Bible. And I'm not trying to make this biblical. You do not have to be a believer to listen to what I'm about to say right now, right? You can be an atheist or an agnostic, and you can still listen to what I'm about to say right now. There are two people that this is reminiscent of. It's reminiscent, one, of Moses, where Moses was leading his people to a promised land that he never got to actually go into. But he knew it was there and he knew it existed. That's number one. The second person that his words and his knowledge and his sense of peace reminds me of is Jesus. Jesus knew he was going to die. And, he didn't want to do it. Right? He did not want to do it. He was literally like, can we not do this? But when it came time to face it, he faced it with peace. And incredibly enough, he faced it with love. One of the most powerful lines in the Bible is, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Even as he was going out, he was still loving, which is amazing. So hopefully this story resonates with you the way that it resonates with me. Again, this is not about being religious. This is not about even the Bible. It's merely about that many of us sometimes, we're going to face times in life when we have to face things head on that we do not want to do. But if you do the right thing, you will experience an incredible peace. And I'm saying this from personal experience. And so I think that's a major takeaway that we can take from the life of Martin Luther King. And I'm going to make one final video in this series. And in that video, I'm going to talk about why Dr. King, the fact that he went to seminary school, the fact that he had a degree in theology was very important in him being able to be a civil rights leader at the time that he was. And I think this is something that a lot of people don't think about or talk about, but I'm going to share that in my next video.